I'm Emily Ann and I'm a Content and Editorial Executive at FMCG Gurus, and today I'll be presenting consumers' attitudes and behaviours towards bakery trends for Bakery Live 2023. This presentation will outline trends that have been identified by FMCG Gurus within the bakery industry. These trends will be examined through consumers' attitudes and behaviours towards bakery in the current climate and how this influences their purchasing habits. This will include discussing areas such as ingredients, flavours, and health and sustainability claims, and suggestions for future product development in the bakery industry, as well as what consumers are prioritising in terms of what they are and aren't interested in within the market. So a quick introduction to FMCG Gurus for those who are unfamiliar. We are a market research company specialising in consumer insights across the food, beverage and supplement markets across the world, specifically exploring consumers' attitudes, behaviours and their response to different categories and trends. Consumers were most likely to consume bread, cake and pastries at least weekly. With 2/3 of consumers stating they eat bread at least weekly, this made it the most popular category. Here we have data that outlines the top 10 bakery products consumers turn to on a weekly basis. Bakery is a staple part of consumers' diets and can accompany various food groups as part of a healthy, balanced lifestyle. Items such as cake and biscuits are treats that can provide consumers with a moment of comfort and indulgence. And such items are particularly effective during times of uncertainty when consumers feel the urge to treat themselves. Consumers look to reduce costs where they can in order to withstand the rising cost of living. 58.6% of global consumers believe the country they live in is currently in a recession. 85.1% of consumers believe food and drink prices have risen over the last 12 months. And 52.8% of consumers agreed they are actively trying to reduce their spending on food and drink. 31.4% of consumers look to reduce their spending on bakery products. Spending will become more considered within the bakery industry as consumers become more conscious of their spending habits and how they can save money and make their money stretch further. This suggests consumers will be more vigilant to money-saving incentives like discounts and promotional offers. And it is also important to emphasise health and sustainability claims, as well as ingredients included in products as a form of reassurance and to enhance perceptions of value of products during uncertain times. Price is the most influential factor when shaping consumers' views on whether products are good value for money. Price, taste and claims emphasise the areas consumers consider when evaluating what is a worthy trade-up and whether they will be repurchasing products in the future. Taste and enjoyment remain a priority for consumers, as well as the authenticity of a product and how natural it is. The price of a product must translate through the quality of ingredients, claims, and whether the product is beneficial to a consumer's health and well-being. Consumers will turn to bakery for nostalgic and escapism purposes. 32% of global consumers say they turn to bakery products for relaxation purposes. Though this may be the case, there is a potential for consumers to feel guilty after indulging, especially if they feel they have overindulged. 39.5% of consumers said they sought out products and flavours that remind them of the past and simpler times over the last 12 months. Nostalgia is an important theme in consumers' consumption habits, especially if they are looking for a source of comfort during uncertain times. 80.5% of consumers found traditional and nostalgic flavours appealing, and by traditional flavours, this refers to flavours that remind them of the past. Consumers are attentive to claims and nutritional labelling, with 74% of global consumers who purchased bakery products saying they check nutritional labelling at least some of the time. Natural claims were most appealing to consumers when considering bakery products, closely followed by non-GMO and sugar-free claims. Realness and authenticity of products is important as it makes products appear better for you. This also reduces guilt associated with consumption. This emphasises the appeal for natural claims, functional ingredients and health claims when communicating the nutritional value of bakery products. Functional and fortified ingredients appeal within the bakery market. Of those looking to proactively improve their health through their own dietary habits, functional ingredients were of particular appeal. Consumers were most concerned by their sleep health, immunity, and overall mental well-being. This opens opportunities within the bakery industry to explore these health areas and how they can be improved through the use of functional ingredients and enhance health benefits. 54% of global consumers said they are actively looking for food and beverages with added health benefits. Consumers recognise the link between digestive health and overall health. Gut health problems are prevalent and are an issue consumers look to address through their diet and lifestyle. It is important that functional ingredients are not seen as boring or bland, but tasty and nutritious. For example, ingredients like fibre should be positioned around being aspirational, tasty, and nutritious. This offers opportunities for innovation within the bakery market for expanding the range of probiotic offerings to aid gut health, for instance. Innovations in the bakery industry and addressing areas such as the gut microbiome. Currently, only 15% of global consumers say they have heard of the gut microbiome. Improving digestion was the health benefit consumers most associated with a healthy gut microbiome. This was closely followed by improving immune health and reducing the vulnerability of long-term health problems. More than half of consumers associated the gut microbiome with reducing vulnerability to day-to-day illnesses and improving heart health. There are opportunities within the bakery market to promote products that include ingredients that help support and improve the gut microbiome and overall digestion, as well as other health areas. Brands need to take a more proactive approach to the environment as well, and this creates opportunity for expansion in areas such as upcycled ingredients, local production, and innovations that extend shelf life. Brands and manufacturers must acknowledge their responsibility to address key issues such as carbon emissions and global warming. Almost 4 in 5 consumers are concerned by the state of the environment, and 2/3 believe that brands should be doing more to protect the planet. Whilst consumers look to save spending at restaurants and cafes, 2 in 5 compensate by spending more on cakes and pastries. 76.5% of consumers look to reduce their spending on restaurants and cafes over the last 6 months. And 45.7% of consumers sought out more premium products and treats at retailers to compensate for the reduced spending in restaurants and cafes, with 41% of consumers saying the premium products they purchased more of was cakes and pastries. So with consumers looking to reduce their spending in the food service industry, the money that they've saved has been compensated through these other categories. And 2 in 5 consumers said they purchased cakes and pastries to compensate. And this demonstrates the willingness to pay premium. This demonstrates the consumers' willingness to pay premium prices if they believe that their need states will be satisfied through health claims, taste, and quality. So, actions and recommendations. Nutritional value and ingredient listings. Consumers are being more attentive to ingredient listings when seeking out bakery products, something that will influence perceptions of value, quality, and healthiness. Consumers want reassurance that ingredients used are real and authentic, and want to avoid chemicals and artificial ingredients want ingredients that are deemed natural and nutritious. This is something that will drive demand for streamlined ingredient lists and free from claims. In addition, nutritional labelling needs to be transparent so that consumers can make informed decisions about nutritional profiles. Health is wealth. Consumers are taking a proactive approach to their health and wellness. This means that they seek active ingredients and benefit claims, including fortification in everyday product sectors such as bakery. Consumers like to see multiple health claims on products that aid overall health and wellness, as they will not have time or money to seek out specific products or specific health issues, especially if they are not suffering from symptoms already. Multiple claims are associated with maximum efficiency, convenience, and value, especially if brands can provide evidence to support these claims. And the role of fortification. Consumers recognise the importance of fibre and its role in aiding the digestive system. In addition, consumers also recognise the link between digestive health and overall wellness, a trend that will only intensify over the next decade as more becomes known about the gut microbiome. However, fibre can sometimes be seen as a necessity and can also be seen as bland and boring. The industry needs to take inspiration from the protein market and give fibre a more aspirational positioning, promoting the link between daily intake and leading an energetic and active lifestyle. To conclude, I'd like to say thank you for taking the time to listen to this presentation. My contact information is available on the screen, where you can find my email, my contact number, and my LinkedIn information. Please feel free to contact me if you have any questions regarding this presentation or FMCG Gurus in general. We are also available for general queries at info@fmcggurus.com. Thanks again, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the event.
Thank you, Emily, for delivering such an insightful session here at Bakery Live. What made you want to talk about this topic in particular?
Thank you. Yeah, so at the moment, there's a lot of trends within the bakery industry that have changed from previous years. So I just thought it would be something that would be quite interesting to speak about, especially in light of the rising cost of living. It's something that has definitely influenced different attitudes and behaviours. So, yeah.
It provides valuable insight for bakery producers who are interested in knowing what consumers want to buy and their purchasing habits.
Mm-hmm.
On that note, what have you found have the greatest sway over consumers purchasing baked goods? What claims have the greatest sway?
So we've definitely seen post-pandemic that people are shifting their focus a lot more onto nutritional labeling, information, streamlined ingredients, and trying to make sense of ingredients as well. So when they look at the back of a product packaging, they are looking for ingredients that they are familiar with, whether that be protein, whether it be fibre, or whether that be actual health claims. So maybe boosting immunity or other health areas that people are interested in improving and enhancing.
I think that's an excellent point. I mean, you said in your presentation that not many consumers know of the gut microbiome. So if a brand were to put that on the back of a pack, would they know what it means? How do you think bakery brands can best communicate these claims to consumers when they're shopping, keeping in mind that when someone's walking through a supermarket, they might make a very quick decision to buy something when they look at it very briefly?
Yeah, so in this case, definitely through the packaging, as that's obviously the first thing that they're going to pick up and see. But do this in a way that is easy to understand and it's simple, because like you say, people don't have much time when they are picking products. So it's something that's very easy to understand. It's there and it's easily accessible to everybody.
Yeah, so I imagine having back of a pack that's crowded with information is probably the opposite of that, something that's accessible and easy to understand. I totally hear that. You spoke about in your presentation as well consumers indulging in baked goods during times of uncertainty. Could you talk about any times recently that have happened?
Yeah, so we noticed a spike in this behavior during the pandemic. People were starting to indulge a lot more in products that you would associate with indulgence, like bakery, confectionery. These were things that people were turning to a lot more. We see that during times of uncertainty, people will turn to these products for comfort, a moment of escapism. However, this can also bring about feelings of guilt afterwards. So with health claims, that's a potential way to kind of overcome and avoid those feelings of overindulgence and guilt that some people can feel when they may have too much of such products.
Yeah, I think it provides some feeling of relief maybe for bakeries who were worried that the cost of living crisis might present a barrier. But it sounds like, from what you're telling me, consumers actually are purchasing more baked goods because they want that kind of comfort. How else have you seen the cost of living crisis influence consumers' purchasing habits?
So it's definitely made people kind of step back and reevaluate what they are spending their money on, which is why we speak about money saving incentives, discounts, promotional offers. These are things that people turn to and have more of an eagle eye towards. So they're more vigilant towards things that they may see as discounted or cheaper. But in the same breath, during these times of uncertainty, people want to make sure that they are getting good value for money. So making their money stretch further, yes, but also buying a product and being able to say that this is good quality and I'm getting my money's worth. So that's something that we've noticed a lot more of during the cost of living crisis as well.
Yeah, that's a really good point. People aren't necessarily just reducing their spend, but they're being more selective with what they buy. I mean, as you're saying that, I'm thinking in my head, that's absolutely what goes through my mind when I go shopping. Um, have you found that consumers continue to buy the brands that are familiar to them, or are they, as you say, are they going for the cheaper stuff in general? Or maybe not cheaper stuff, but are they purchasing things that are more affordable?
So we've noticed that people are less brand um, during these times. So this again really hones in on the quality of a product. So if something tastes good, if it offers and provides, health benefits or the things that consumers are searching for, if they can get that for a lower price, or if they can get that from somewhere else other than the brands and retailers that they're familiar with, they're more willing to explore those avenues. Whereas before, we noticed that people were more sticking with what they was familiar to and what they knew, and now they're more adventurous with exploring different avenues.
Which is great because I think that provides opportunities for perhaps smaller brands or brands that are lesser well known. I certainly can think of a few off the top of my head who are very new, they're in their infancy, but that gives them an avenue to break into the market and to be purchased by consumers. Do you think that consumers are still concerned with and prioritizing sustainability claims as costs rise?
So it's a tricky one because, yes, they are, but also price is of higher priority. However, in saying that, people still believe that brands and manufacturers have a responsibility, as people do believe that these are the places where the carbon emissions are coming from more so than themselves. So they're kind of looking towards these brands and manufacturers to take responsibility and to show what they're doing to help protect and support the environment. So as much as people are maybe less attentive than they would be to price, it's something that they still look for in the brands and manufacturers that they're purchasing from. Yeah.
I mean, we briefly spoke earlier just now about how brands can communicate these claims to consumers. So I can definitely see how brands can communicate sustainability in a clear way to consumers as well. Just finally, what are the ingredients that consumers are gravitating towards when buying baked goods, and what are the ingredients that they're avoiding?
So it definitely depends on the consumer. For example, those who are more proactive with their health are definitely looking to reduce, eliminate, and avoid consuming a high sugar content, high fat content. So they'll be leaning more towards protein, fiber, for example. So these things, ingredients that are associated with health benefits and health claims. And we can see that fortification comes into play in this aspect as well. People are liking to see more of these healthy ingredients in products that we may not have seen them in so much of in the past.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you so much, Emily, for talking with me at Bakery Live. And as mentioned, if anyone has any questions, please do reach out to her on the platform.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you for having me.